This is recording 686.
Playing from Christina's A14.
This is recording 686. Again, you can find me at christinastation918.com. So, my God. So, anyway, the previous recording, I'm sorry, I'm just like, oh my God, the stuff that Gene Roberts and her little friends do on my brain, they're just, oh my God. Anyway, no, you people are sick. They're trying to cutesy fartsy laugh their way out of it. Well, that tells you what they think of the planet. So anyway, okay, so the last recording, where I was talking about when I was 3 years old, okay, at the babysitter. Okay, so this is a continuation of that. So here's more. Okay, so, let me do this. Okay, so if I can find where I'm going here. Okay. All right, so if you take the coordinates used to work on Google where you could drop a pin and see the straight line, the Pagarathon line, which is really, oh my gosh. Anyway, a straight point between two distances, but it's not always available. So I can't see the exact distance, but the distance that it is important too. Okay, taking the routes. Okay. But anyway, so me being in Tucson at the babysitter at 3 years old, that also connects to Tombstone, Arizona. Okay. And it also connects to Yuma, Arizona. Remember I told you there's an Navajo underneath Yuma. See all recordings. Okay. So anyway, I'm thinking about it and I'm remembering that movie 3:10 to Yuma. And so I'm like, and I've already decoded part of it before. But anyway, so I'm like the numbers chosen for the movie, whether the director knows it or doesn't know it, doesn't matter. It's either ice rape there or he put it there because he knows a little something or he doesn't. He'd be a perfect person to talk to. But anyway, so the distance, it goes to Tombstone and it goes to Yuma. Okay. So anyway, and I'm like, that connects to, this is where I was at. Let me back up. It connects to Pinking Shears. Okay. And you know about Shears School, CL Code Shears School, how Gene Jernigan Roberts connected Shears School to, when she was using her 9/11 plot, based around me when I was 6 years old, 1976, the Blue Swing CL Code, and then my haircut, see all of that, okay? So my mom, like I told you, my mom was obsessed with scissors, right? So she's a champion sewer. So anyway, she's like real particular about her scissors. So like I've got all of her scissors burned into my brain. So anyway, I'm like, those scissors, those zigzag scissors, what are those freaking called? And so then I went and looked them up. They're called pinking shears. And then I read about pinking shears, and then I read about the pinking iron. And then, because everybody was talking about Charlie Brown and all of that. So I'm like, oh my God, that goes to my mom's pinking shears. I was pinking, and I'm like, and my mom, she made this really cool piece of artwork when I was little, and she took a door, and I think it was like an antique glass door, like an antique cabinet glass door, and then she took felt, and then she cut used pinking shears and she cut holes in the felt. And then she put pictures of our family in the felt. One of them is a funny one, which is like one of me sitting on my stepdad's lap. And I think we were on the boat at Lake Powell. And I think I had on my little Snoopy shirt. And he's flipping my mom off. So it's a cute picture. So there's all these pictures of my family in it. And it's hung in our house for years and years and years and years and years. So, and Jean is constantly putting that picture in my brain that my mom made. Okay, and you know my mom, I mean, you know Jean Jernigan Roberts, though. Jean, you're not my mom. Stop trying to control my speech. Oh my God, that bitch has got issues. So anyway, you know she eyes raped my mom. So she eyes raped my whole family. So anyway, like we're her little MK Ultra science experiment. So anyway, I'm like, the pinking shears goes to, so then the pink goes to liver. I'm like, let me go see liver. So liver is pink, it's dark red, and then it's pink underneath. And then that goes to all the pin code, and then pin king, and then all that. So anyway, I'm like, then I'm thinking about the zigzag shape of the scissors. And then you can see in pinking shears, you can see the inventor of it invented the pinking iron, which is hilarious, because if you think of the image that I've got up on Pinterest of Schrodinger's cat, it's making me laugh because Jean is screwed. She's screwed. There's a book cover of Schrodinger's cat, which will trip you out. And it's funny because I will be able to get reparations out of this by turning Jean in for all of this crime that she's committed. Jean, on the other hand, is still doing her usual ploy. Christina's saying that we can just continue to run around committing terrorism and run trafficking rings, and she's just down with it. She's just down with it. That's what she's doing. No, bitch. I turned you in. I'm not going to cover your ass and allow you to commit fucking crime. I turned your ass in. So anyway, so she committed all these crimes. Oklahoma City bombing, the World Trade Center attack. Now she's running a child trafficking ring via a libel racket, via wanting to be everybody's families, meet everybody's family's children. She just wants to protect you. No, she freaking does not. So anyway, so I'm like, okay, so the scissors, okay, the zigzag on the, they say also zigzag papers. So anyway, the scissors, goes to, I'm like, that goes to the grand staircase. Okay, so I'm like, those are stairs. That goes to the grand staircase and CL code, the grand staircase, Lake Powell, and CL code, Iron Psych. Oh my gosh, Iron Psych. Oh my gosh. So anyway, so I'm like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. So anyway, I'm like, okay, so let me go see the distance on Tombstone to Yuma, okay? So anyway, I go to see that. The distance is relevant. And then I go to look up the difference in the years between the pinking shears and then Dante's Inferno, because that's what it's also a reference to, okay? And see, I'll decode Dante's Inferno. Okay, so you're going to see everything I turned into Tulsa Police Headquarters, or you're going to have to go through all these recordings. Okay, or everything that's on Pinterest that I have on my Pinterest. So anyway, so it's relevant. It's connected. So, okay, so if you take 1874 minus 1321, that's 553. So notice 1874. Notice I was 3 years old. And then 1321. So you can even see the 310 to Yuma and that. You can decode all these. You can further decode this way out. And I'm going to do some of that for you. There's so much here that this part of this, I'm just letting you know this top level. And then you can decode all out more from there. So anyway, I'm like, let me go do different math here with this. Okay. So I'm going to do different math. So I'm going to look up these straight line coordinates, right? And so I'm like, it says you have to get the X and Y point on the map to do a mathematical equation. And I'm like, well, I have it as a latitude, longitude. So that's not going to work. I'm like, let me go look at the latitude, longitude, because I can always decode out a latitude, longitude also. So anyway, the coordinates for Tombstone, Arizona are 31.71. Raised to the composed with power 31.71 north. And then 110.07 raised to the composed power 110.07. So Tombstone is 31.71 north by 110.07. Again, see all code. And so you can see my year. You can see my year of birth there. You can see my month of birth. She's got the 31, the 13. She's got it flipped backwards. You can see my month year, and then you see the 7 looking like the hang symbol. And then, okay, so you can do decode on all of this. Okay, I'm doing a different thing here. Okay, so I mean, you can go 100 different directions with this. So the coordinates for Yuma, Arizona are 3269. North, and then 114.63 west. Okay, so you can see in there instantly, you can see 9/11, you can see Oklahoma City bombing, you can see Charles Manson, you can see all kinds of stuff. Okay, so now here's where I go to do the math. So if you take 114.63 minus 32.69, that's 81.94. Okay, and then if you take and then see all code with that. And if you take 110.07 minus 31.71, that's 78.36. And then see all code with that. Okay, so now if you combine them, if you take 81.94 minus 78.36, it comes out to 3.58. Okay, so see all code with that. So if you do the opposite and you add, if you do 81.94 plus 7836, it equals 160.3. Okay, now what's fascinating here when you break all this down and you decode all these numbers, just this part here, I do this all in my brain and I don't write it all down. I mean, I'm telling you this so you can go through it and do it. So, but anyway, I was like, oh my God. So if you look at the 160.30, it's 8/16, which is half. And then the V, see how the math just works out? The V is the snake bite is the half mark, and the 3 cancels out. So anyway, so this is a part of, this leads to Revelations, okay? So now, I'm like, let me go read about Jezebel. You know how Jezebel is in Revelations, okay? She is the woman that sits on and I love the painting of it. Gene wants to paint me as that. No, Gene, you're Jezebel. You're the one trying to control the planet. Trying to get away with your con and your terrorism. Gene Jernigan Roberts is the Antichrist. And also not the group that came out in the 80s. They make me sick. Like, I don't remember the song they even sing. I do not care. I don't even want to look them up. No offense to them. They probably have no idea. They're probably ice rapes, but I don't care. I just get grossed out. But there's a new wave or mod group out there that came out that was real popular in the 80s called Gene Loves Jezebel. So anyway, okay, so she's sitting on something with 10 heads or 7 heads and 10 crowns. Okay, so you know that 17 is queen, okay? So Jezebel is the actual queen of hearts, which means Jean really is the queen of hearts. And I'm going to show that to you. So it's based off of Alice in Wonderland. This is more of Alice in Wonderland, okay? So see, I'll code Alice in Wonderland. I've done a bunch of decode on Alice in Wonderland. So anyway, so 10, so you know the Mad Hatter's hat has got the 10-6 on it, okay? So if you take, so this is 10-7 in the Holy Bible. So if you minus 1, okay, that means sacrifice, okay, then that becomes 10-6. And then also looking at 17 more closely, so she's the queen of hearts. Does it mean she's the queen of anybody else? She's like the queen of evil, okay? She's not actual queens. Okay, she is evil. She's the leader of Charles Manson. So Q17 is also 8. So Q8 and then quake and then quiet and then quack and then quint is 5. And if you take 5 plus 8, that's 13. That also connects to the 5 countries in 7 years or the 7 countries in 5 years. See all code. And I decoded more of that in Revelations also. And then that becomes 12 plus 1. Okay, and then that also equals VD, and then VD is what? Valentine's Day. So you can see that Jezebel is the Queen of Hearts. So then 214, that's also area code in Texas, and then note Tex Watson. Someone else pointed out Nowata. She's obsessed with Nowata, Jean Journey and Robert says. So Nowata is inside Tex Watson. So then No Water, and then Tears from Alice in Wonderland, and then 214 spells out the word bad. So then I go and I'm like, what is in Revelations about 214? So Revelations is a verse from the New Testament where Jesus rebukes the church, and get this, Pergamum, Purgamum, for having members who hold to the teaching of Balaam. And remember I told you Alice in Wonderland, Willy Wonka, and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and The Wizard of Oz are all movies about purgatory. So, and that's what Dante's Inferno is too. Okay. So anyway, you have that. And then also point out the picture she ice raped into my dad's house where she's bragging. She's got a picture of lily pads. Okay. And it looks like a regular painting. And it was hanging in my room. And she's pointing out the picture to me in my brain. This was like 9 years ago. And she's pointing out Pegasus and Pennzoil. She's literally bragging. Okay. So I'm like, Pennzoil, Pegasus, that's their little symbol for Pennzoil. Well, hopefully Pennzoil will fucking, I'm sorry, she's controlling my speech. Hopefully they'll turn in Jean Jernigan Roberts. Everybody knows she's guilty. She's guilty of stalking. She desperately wants to sacrifice you, Christina. She's not going to. So, if you can hear me, I've got artificial intelligence, mental telepathy. People talk through me all the time. Most of them I cannot stand. So anyway, so in that also in Balaam is Mabus, Jezebel, and then Babylon is in Balaam. So that is the end of this recording.